Nation football fans, to another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the postseason to the Super Bowl to the offseason, from the draft to OTAs to the preseason and to the shenanigans of the regular season. Let the growling begin. Welcome back, all you Panther fans. Glad you could make it with us for another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Glad to be back with you. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been with you guys. Of course, first and foremost, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Hope you guys are ready for the holidays. And nothing makes the Christmas season better than watching our Carolina Panthers pull out a victory. Not pretty, but hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Oh yeah. Well, you guys know I'm from the GA, and there's nothing more gratifying than beating the Atlanta Falcons. Granted, we have never swept this team. I'm just glad we didn't get swept. Because it looked there for a minute like we were going to get swept. Falcons were going to be in the playoffs and having the opportunity to leave us as the last remaining team in the NFC South to secure a Super Bowl championship. Yeah. Well, let's break this game down. It was by far one of the ugliest games that we've had this season. The rain did not help, but once again, Coach Avero and this defense found a way to get it done. And honestly, as ugly as this game was, we were able to pull out the 9-7 victory. And DJ Shark had some encouraging words after it, saying that we're not far from being competitive in the NFC South. And, I like him. And I like DJ Shark, and hopefully he returns. But not right now. We're not going to be able to compete this year, and hopefully that's what he's saying is next year. I'm pretty sure that's what he was referring to. But Coach Tabor is doing such a great job, seemingly allowing these weapons to come together and doing some things that is really, in my opinion, very promising. The one thing, I was talking with one of the friends of the show, I was telling him about what DJ Shark's strength is. He's not what you would call a T. Higgins guy who's a major 50-50 ball type of guy, but he's got that physicality, you guys. And I finally saw Bryce Young say, okay, I'm going to back shoulder throw one of these balls, and in which he did. And I think one was bobbled and dropped, and he nearly had it, but I think one of the announcers had said during the game, and I agree with him, that ball should have been thrown more further away from him and further to the outside. It got more on the inside, and the defender was able to get a hand in there, of course. But that comes with time, I think. I think that's going to come with time and experience and knowing DJ Shark. This is why I think we were also having this discussion, do the Carolina Panthers need a number one? I think they already have one. I think they got two and potentially three. And what happens is I don't blame Scott Fitterer for putting these guys together. I'm going to be doing a show where I talk about the 5 reasons why Scott Fitterer needs to be relieved as GM. And this team he's put together this year is not a bad group. I want you guys to follow me here. All of these guys have different strengths, and there have been too many times this season, guys, where DJ Shark has been left on an island with a smaller corner. That's where Bryce has got to say, oh, okay, you're going to do that? When you get, and let's look at the Cincinnati Bengal effect. When you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, let's keep it real. Adam Thielen's going to get open. Let's look at Mingo. Mingo's going to get open. Trimble has been left open. And then let's not forget the guy that you have to bring back. This is the only reason why I believe Fitterer does not need to be removed from his duty, is because these guys won't be coming back if you remove Fitterer from his duties. I think a lot of these guys need to be here, and I'm even going to say it like this. If Coach Tabor is able to get at least 2 of the next 3 games, he needs to stay and leave this coaching staff intact. There's no reason to change it. I mean, at the end of the day, it looks more like there is hope at the end of this tunnel than there has been in a really long time during this season. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's looking more and more like, even last week when we lost this game, we looked like we were ready to take that next step. And then it's like, many of our games, guys, if we've been in these games, if we haven't been in the games, we lose them right at the end, whether it's big turnovers or inability to get off the field on 3rd downs. And we've been able to do that as of late. And it's been a huge reason that we've enjoyed some success here lately. But what I will say has been the saving grace, and we'll get into the game, is that I'm seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel. And I think a lot of that is, some of that's Thomas Brown. I think some of that has to do with him. But I think ultimately, Coach Avero, if we have any type of success, it's all got to fall in the laps of not just Coach Tabor, but I think also has to fall into the hands of Coach Avero. Because he's done a phenomenal job all season. This defense has kept us in games. And ultimately, this is what I believe. I ultimately believe you've got to put some form of offense together. And the problem we had early in the year, it looked like we weren't running the ball efficiently enough. Now, all of a sudden, we're running the ball more effectively. But without further ado, guys, I want to get in here and get out. Let's take a look. Once again, we ran the ball over 30 times, and getting the lion's share of the runs, of course, Chuba Hubbard at 87. He didn't go over 100, but he's showing more and more consistency, and that offensive line seemingly is getting a lot more comfortable, even though we keep shifting guys in and out. That's something that is probably going to happen with our 2 top guards out of the lineup. And, you know, as I said, we're placing and plugging, and we're doing so many good things right, to the point where, you know, let's even look at our PFF grades based on that. 2 of our top players of PFF grades came from Bradley Bozeman, who has been on the short end a lot this year. And I'm just going to keep it honest. He's played well in a handful of games, and when he's played well, the run game has been great. Not just the pass blocking, but the run game has been great. Gabe Jackson came in. He had a 72.2. Of course, Bryce Young led the boys in black this week with a 78. Smith Marset had a 69. DJ Shark a 67.4. And I'm going to be honest with you. This has been, when you look at the games of the games we win, you look at Adam Thielen, he had a 51.6. And I don't know how that is. Cade Mays, once again, had a 58. This is the worst. Ike Aquano had a 57. Nash Jensen, 47. Miles Sanders, 48.6. And honestly, you know, this is a situation where we're having to, you know, Thomas Brown is finding more creative ways to move the football. To me, it's all about the running game. This is a team that should be built on play action. This is not going to be an offense where Bryce Young is going to light you up. He wasn't a guy that totally just lit you up. I think the problem is a lot of times everybody still looks at the offense he ran at Alabama and they forget they were still a pretty balanced offense at that time, even though Bryce did throw up some really gaudy numbers at Alabama. But he also had 2 elite wide receivers on his team. So that was really what you had to do, was get these guys the football. They're your most dynamic. And as I said, Sanders took a step back, and the running game looked impressive enough to get us those shots. And what I was really happy about is Bryce took 2 shots to DJ Shark, and they turned in a really good return. One of them for 18 yards. I know what people are going to say, well, it wasn't a deep shot, which it wasn't, but he took a deep shot earlier. it was kind of off. It wasn't exactly where you want a back shoulder fade to be. It was more into his body as opposed to outwardly, away from the defender where you want it. And, same thing with Sullivan. He took a shot to Sullivan. It wasn't considered a shot. They didn't give him a target here. But he did. He did get one that I looked at that was a little bit over his head. And I think that was what he was going for. And Sullivan either stopped running or there was a miscommunication. Tremble caught both of his targets, and Mingo caught 4 of his 5 for 32, and they had a 20-yarder, which this is another guy. We got to get the ball to him in space. Shark had his lone reception, and the thing that gets me more than anything else is we have to get this guy the football as well. You got safety's not respecting him over the top because they're not expecting Bryce to throw him the ball in one-on-one situations. There are so many things that could open up in the pass game if Thomas Brown and Coach Tabers encourage Bryce Young. Take that shot to your big man. That's what he's out there for. Listen, we're not going to get T. Higgins. That's just reality. A lot of you guys don't know, we've got $50 million of dead money. That's just the way it is. $50 million in dead money. We're going to have to make this work. DJ Chark is a guy that we may be able to get for one more year. We got to make this work. We cannot move on from a big-bodied wide receiver. I mean, we just can't do that. We've got several big guy wide receivers, but the reality of it is we need to make this work. And it gave Smith Marset the ball 4 times in the run game for 31 yards. And that is wonderful in my opinion. That's what you have to do. You have to be able to change things up. I'd like to see Tommy Tremble get the ball more. Tommy Tremble's an exceptional athlete in open space if we can get him the ball. And Bryce has got to look. There have been 2 or 3 times in the games where he's looking for Thielen or Shark or Mingo wide open in the middle of the field. Bryce has got to see those moments and attack it. But the one thing you just got to harp on is this defense. I mean, Frankie Louisville had 10 tackles in this game. J.C. Horn is getting back to form, and he had a tackle for loss, a great tackle for loss. Enos Gross-Matos is coming back, and he's playing great. Coming back off of IR, and he's continuing his great season. And this is a guy we're going to have to sign. He's going to have to take a friendly deal. And Derek Brown, who, what can you say? Going to have to do something about his 5th-year option. He's one of the most disruptive forces in the game. Honestly, I don't know where our run defense would be without this guy. I mean, he's registered with 5 tackles, but he disrupts so many things, and he causes so much havoc for opposing offenses. They can't do anything with him. Xavier Woods with another interception, and he had 3 tackles. And, of course, Brian Burns. People are sitting there saying this and that about Brian Burns. Brian Burns is still the guy that everybody looks out for. He's still the guy that everybody's looking at and saying, hey, we got to stop this guy. We got to. And coming into this game, we were in the bottom 4th in turnovers. And we got one late from Desmond Ridder, and we got one from Atlanta's superstar caliber player in Bijan Robinson, who only saw 7 carries in this game. And we shut down Cordero Patterson, a guy who is their utility knife. He is their do-it-your-all guy, but he did get in for a touchdown. And it was the lone touchdown, thank goodness. And, the thing that Bryce has got to understand, and that's what we've got to get him to understand, it is okay to get rid of the football. Can't stand back there and take sacks. Cannot. I think ultimately he needs to realize that, okay, get out of town. Keep your head up. That was one of the things you did well in Alabama. You kept your head up, and you found guys open. That's what you need to continue to do. Looking at these numbers, the final numbers, so to speak, as I said, defensively we look exceptionally good yet again. Atlanta's defense was not bad either. Looking at these numbers, it's just crazy. Carolina had 17... had the first down battle, 17-12 first downs, and we had they had 8 passing first downs, we had 7. We had 8 rushing first downs, and they gave us 2 rushing first downs off of penalties, and we gave them 1. So in the third down efficiently, Falcons were 6 of 13, whereas we were 5 of 15. but we were 0 for 2 on fourth down. And the thing that I think is promising is we ran 63 plays, which was 12 more than the Atlanta Falcons. Outgained them total yardage-wise and had more yards per play. Now, this is where we've got to look at this and say this has got to stop. Desmond Ridder versus Bryce Young, passing yards 154 to 152 in favor of Bryce Young. Not overly impressive. And then you look at rushing. We outgained the Atlanta Falcons 129 to 52 on the ground. Once again, you got to look at the defense and you got to look at our offensive line. Bozeman being the guy that played well this week, there's a lot of reason why we were to run the ball. When we look at Bozeman, we succeed. When Bozeman has a good game, we generally succeed. And we won this game 9-7, and let's look here. 2 turnovers. Excuse me. 2 turnovers. We only won by 2 points. And the turnover in the fourth quarter was the difference. We didn't score a touchdown, guys. Somewhere that's got to be a priority this week. Us scoring inside the red zone. We can't just get down here. We're looking more like that first-year team that Matt Rule had. When Teddy Bridgewater said, we don't practice when we get inside the 5. Or we don't practice when we get inside the 10. We don't practice when we get inside the red zone. What separates good teams from great teams and elite teams is teams that punch it in the red zone. Finally, let's look at time of possession. We had this football darn near 8 minutes more than the Falcons. 33-56 to 26-04. That's unacceptable to win this game by 2 points and you dominate the time of possession like that. It can't happen. But guys, I just wanted to let you know I'm very happy with the 9-7 victory that we had over the Atlanta Falcons. It makes me happy. I get some bragging rights when I go back to work. And, Coach Tabers is seemingly trending the Carolina Panthers in the right direction. But let me know what you guys think as we prepare, as we enjoy this victory, and then we get ready for our upcoming matchup with the Green Bay Packers. I will be available for you guys. As I said, go to the Facebook page, Growlin' and Prowlin', and let us know what you guys think. Kind of let us know how we're doing and what you guys think of Growlin' and Prowlin' and so on and so forth. And also, go to the YouTube channel and also comment. Let us know what ideas you guys would like. We're going to be collabing real soon. I know I keep saying that, you guys, but we're going to be collabing with some other fans and hearing what you guys have to, what you guys think. Maybe having some really good, really awesome dialogue and so on and so forth. But until the next time, you guys, keep prowling the airwaves and keep prowling out. Keep pounding.